Hello, everyday leaders. It is Tuesday, and tonight is January the 5th. This is the first broadcast that we have done on 2021. Super excited to be here tonight. I am Melahni Ake with Everyday Leaders. If you have not followed us before, this is the live format where we bring everyday leaders that are doing amazing things to you. And this is streaming across Facebook, Everyday Leaders coaching and consulting page, the podcast page, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So if you're following us on any of these channels, please let us know where you're coming from and ask our guests questions all night long. For those of you that have been following me in the last couple of months, you know that I have become Y certified with the Y Institute. And so finding your why, discovering your why, and living your why is really important. And so through this broadcast on the bottom, if you would like to take your own why assessment and even sign up for the upcoming workshops, you can go right to everydayleaders.com and do that and join us. So without further ado, I am going to bring on our wonderful guest tonight. She is close to my heart because she is a nurse and she's teaching people about stress eating, emotional eating, and how to be healthy in our lives. And I just loved her. And I said, you got to come on and share. So Karen Schaible, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited. And, everybody's into this New Year's resolutions on getting healthy for January. So I guess I'm the right person to come on today, aren't I?
Oh my gosh, you are. And I have to tell everybody, it is your anniversary. So happy anniversary.
Thank you.
That is awesome. So we brought her on. She's going to have a wonderful little dinner here after the broadcast. So I said, how awesome to be able to celebrate with you. And Karen, when we connected, I really loved your story because as a nurse, my mother's a nurse. I've been in medical for a long time. I get how important it is for us to be healthy. And but when we're in that field, when most of us that I'm connected to in my own life say, well, we're working, but we forget to take care of ourselves sometimes. And so when you and I connected and you told me your story about the passion that you have to help people just really think about why they're doing what they're doing and getting healthy, that spoke to my heart. And so could you tell us a little bit about your background and how you kind of got started into this whole process of knowing that this was your why?
Okay, so thank you. Yes, this is my passion. Oh, my passion is helping women find their why, the strong why to get to live their dreams. So for me, I was a nurse for 27 years, worked many areas, and as nurses, we give, and we're always looking after everybody else. And we always put ourselves on the back burner. And I did that. I did that for all, up until 12 years ago. I was the people pleaser. Everything and everybody came first before me. And there's nothing wrong with helping others and being there for others, but it really did a number on me. I ended up, from a young age, I really struggled with myself and just who I was and not good enough. And over the years, that's why I ended up people pleasing so much and doing so much, because it filled me up, but yet I was depleted. So for 20 plus years, I lived a life for everybody and everything else. And I ended up so overweight. I was 100 pounds heavier than I am now. I was depressed. I was anxious. I had 3 wonderful children, but it was in a marriage where I got married because I didn't think anybody else would want me when I was very young. So I lived this life, and I mean, it was good, but there was something inside of me that was missing. And so I just went through life. I just wanted to feel better and be better. And so I did all those diets out there. I yo-yo dieted, lost, I gained. I did them all. I did almost all of them. And then at age 40, I really hit a place where I hit a place where I I just didn't want to be at this place anymore. And I always had this why. Oh, I'll do it for my children, and I'll do it, to get into those skinny jeans. But it really wasn't my deep why.
Mm.
And at 40, I almost hit a rock bottom mentally and physically because I wasn't well because of the weight I was at. And that was the time where I'm like, no, like my first why was I want to be there for my children. Like they are my world. I had children for a reason to be part of their life. And then here I am putting myself last and not looking after myself. And how long am I going to live? And what can I do when I'm letting myself go? So my strong why was I need to do this for my children, and I need to do it for myself because I couldn't live anymore with that depression and everything. And so that was the place I got out of my pity party, my poor me, and I stopped the dieting and I found a group coaching program. And I actually, in my post today, I posted my wedding picture and I thanked that woman for that coaching program because she saved my life. She changed my life. Then the program was all about working on your inner self, building yourself up, like just like stopping the limiting beliefs that you're not good enough and not worthy. And that's what changed my whole life was when I started loving myself and loving loving everything about me. Yeah, I was still, overweight, but that didn't matter because who I was inside was enough. And from that place, when I changed all that, that's when my whole life changed. I left an unhealthy marriage and I lost 100 pounds. And I didn't lose it by dieting. I lost it by giving to myself. And so many women think it's so selfish, but actually it's selfish not to look after yourself because you can't be there for somebody else when you are so depleted. Like when I was depressed, all I wanted to do, I went to work and I tried to go to my kids' things and I isolated myself because I didn't want to be out there. And then when everything changed, I was actually the mom I always wanted to be. And I mean, it just changed my whole life. So how I transitioned to this was the last place I worked was the bariatric clinic where people went for the stomach surgery. And it was a very much a coaching role. And so I worked with the clients until a year after post-op. And I watched so many of them gaining the weight back. And I knew what it took because I did it. And I just felt so out of alignment working there. I felt like, what's the point of being here because I'm not making a difference? Because I had such a small part in that clinic. And that was when I said, I can't do this anymore. I have to help the women end this struggle because we're so miserable inside and we look like I didn't even have hardly any pictures of myself throughout how many years because I didn't want to even see myself. Yeah. So I left that. I did a couple coaching programs because I'm like, if I'm going to go out there, I want to do it the best I can. And from that point on, I'm following my passion. Like I love getting on calls. And even if they don't hire me, I will get on a call and just give them a few little steps to get them going. Because I don't know. I look back to where I was. And if it wasn't for that woman doing that program, I wouldn't be here today.
Mm-hmm. I love your story because here we are through COVID, 19, 20, now 21. I mean, it's crazy to think about us being isolated and not having the strategies to deal with the depression. And, the divorce rates are going through the roof because people are just so out of their element. And in your website, I'm going to bring it up here in a second, but, part of what you deal with is helping people with emotional eating, right? And really not understanding why you're picking up food to replace something else in your life that you maybe not trust yourself or you're not dealing with something. And so I'm sure, we've all said, hey, we've gained the COVID-19, right? Because we haven't been able to continue on the normal path of getting out and socializing and walking and feeling like we're safe when we go outside. And so a lot of people that I've talked to have been struggling with just this. They haven't been able to get into feeling good, maybe putting on their tops, their blouses or their jackets that show them on Zoom. But now it's like, oh, well, but I'll keep my sweatpants or my pajama pants on the bottom because, I've been eating so much that it really doesn't matter, does it? Nobody's going to see me. And so I love this is the perfect time to bring you on to really talk through what you're offering in your program. And we've got a quick question here that I'm going to bring on the screen. And it's from one of the Facebook users. And she says, what do I do about my habit of um, trying to out train a bad diet?
Well, so one of the big things is that so many people are like, diets don't work. Diets absolutely don't work. Most people that they're focusing on, well, I can't follow the diet. I'm not eating healthy. But one of the biggest things that causes people to not follow an even healthy eating is that emotional eating. Like, I was a huge emotional eater. So I would do good on my meals, but then something would happen and whoosh, I'm gone. So when she says about habit of, trying to out train a bad habit, well, it's looking at why you're doing what you're doing. Why aren't you following staying with eating healthy? We all know, if we've done diets, we know healthy eating. But the biggest reason is why. Like, that's what I work on. I don't give people meal plans. I don't give women meal plans. I help them start with where they're at, and then it's seeing, like, why aren't you doing it? What's going on? Do you not know how to deal with your emotions? What's triggering you? Like, what habits are you stuck in, and why are you doing what you're doing? Like, for me, 20 plus years of all the diets, it wasn't that I didn't know what healthy eating was. It was everything underneath the surface causing me to not follow it or overeat. So, like, emotional eating, one of the biggest things is we haven't been taught. I don't know about you, but for me and for all my clients, when they come to me, they haven't been taught how to deal with the emotions that are there. Like, an emotion comes up, and most of it that triggers people into overeating is the negative emotions. And like this year, stress, right? Stress, overwhelm. And for all of my women out that I've been working with, they get like, so what happens is there's a circumstance, and they think that circumstance, so they think COVID is stressing them out and causing them to overeat. But what it is first off, that feeling, they're not sitting with that feeling. They're just wanting it to go away because it's uncomfortable. And so they're turning to food because the food has their comfort, like, is their comfort food. But if we start just allowing any feeling to be there, and every feeling is just a vibration in the body, it can't hurt you. So when you know that and you can be with a feeling, you're not needing to go eat to make that better. So that's the biggest thing. And then also too, it's not COVID that's stressing people out. It's their thoughts about it. And the thoughts create our feelings, which drive our actions. So it's really looking at all of that. Once we learn all that, whatever comes up in our life, we don't need to turn to food. Like, I didn't gain weight in COVID because I don't emotionally eat anymore, because I did all this work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's so important. I love that you're here tonight. This is awesome. Jean Crosta says, yes, this is downright informative. And yes, it is. I know. I love you, Karen. So many people. I've got another Joyce Horner Brown, when you're bored, you eat. Yeah. And so people are bored right now. They don't have activities. They can't even go to the movies. They can't really feel like they can go to the grocery store, to get out and get exercise. So, so these are all common threads, right, that we're all facing.
Yeah.
And I think, when we look back at 2020 and say, what did I do? What were the strategies? Because it's not just about eating, right? It's our health. It's everything that triggers us, that if we can't deal with what is bothering us, then we really it's going to really be a catalyst for other major problems. So This is the start to make sure that we stay healthy in everything that we do so we can, again, healthy for ourselves so we can be healthy for those that we love.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the biggest things too is, well, first, boredom. So I get that a lot. And one of the biggest things with boredom is we have been so busy in our life that we're going and doing, and then all of a sudden we've got time. And it's like, what do we do with ourselves? Oh, let's eat. But one of the biggest things too is, I don't know about you too, but for me, I was one of those women that did it all and kept going. But when we stop and we got to be with ourselves, we don't want to be with ourselves. And that's why, well, let's eat, because what's better, sitting with myself or eating? And so many people end up overeating. The other part is what I really work with my clients on is you are all about the why. Why is so important, because there'll be times where your brain, so our brain rules us so much, like our primitive brain, and it's telling us, go eat, go eat. But if you have such a strong why, when your brain is yelling out at you, you need to eat, it looks so good, then to anchor back into your why when it's so strong, then you can go, like we all have choices in life. The food doesn't just throw in our mouth, right? So in that moment, I can make a choice. Is my why more important than this food?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's what did it for me as well, is learning about emotional eating, but having that strong why to anchor back in when the food was like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm. So Samuel Tenji says, so it's not what the situation is, but what we think about it that makes the difference, good or bad outcome. So he says, amazing, Karen. And that is so true. And I have been, let's see what Jean says here. She has another comment. It's not the situation, yes, but the thoughts about the situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because COVID is a fact, like it's a circumstance. So one person it affects causes stress and the other person it doesn't. It's all because of our thoughts. It's the thought we have about it. So, which is a really good thing to know, because if we know it's our thoughts, we can change what we want to think about it.
Mhm. Absolutely. You, yes. So our producer here says, "Great show, girls." Glad we could bring value to you, Joe. I'm going to put on one of the banners here because this is as I was certified through the Y Institute here just a few weeks ago. And so there's 9 Ys, and I think contribute. I think it took that off of here. So 9 Ys: contribute, trust, make sense of things, find a better way, do things the right way, think different and challenge the status quo, mastery, clarify, and simplify. These are things that Simon Sinek and Dr. Gary Sanchez, and they developed this why assessment. And so when you understand your core why you operate, this when you start talking about this, I'm like, yeah, every single one of these people, if you're a clarify, you want to really understand what it is that's going to trigger me so that I can do the right things and ask a ton of questions. And so if you're that person, you need a coach because your coach is going to continually remind you this is why you're doing, this is the outcome that you're going to get and remove those triggers. And then the make sense people, right? I can just think of all these clients that I have and go, yeah, if they're having challenges with their health and emotional eating through COVID, any of these factors, really it goes to what is your why? How do you operate? If it's trust, are you not trusting yourself? Because the last time you did that, it didn't work out. And so you have to really be honest with yourself, like you said.
Oh yeah, that was my rock bottom. Was it's so easy to blame and look at this is the problem and that's the problem, and like so many women are, I'm too busy to eat healthy. But you know what, if it's our what, like if it's so important to us, you make it work. So when I hit my point where I'm like, I'm going to take responsibility for myself and be honest with myself and stop feeling sorry for myself, that's when everything changed.
hmm That's when everything changes. What we say at the Y Institute is when you know your why, what you do has more impact. And that's exactly what you have said tonight. Karen, I'm going to share your website because I think it's really important. People that are joined here tonight can see, this is, if you go to KarenSchaible.com that I've had up here, you want to go right here and you can find all of the things that you can connect to with Karen. So would you just kind of walk us through your website, Karen, and what's on here and how people can find success when they connect to you?
Yeah. So my first page is really just about like what I do, like it just letting people know, what is it I do? And I can help you lose weight for the last time, but we work on the inner to shift the outer. That's how it all works. So all about that, and then the button, that's the pink button, click on that and you'll then go to my freebie, and it's just a quick start guide. It gets you going on what you can do so you can lose weight, you can end that yo-yo dieting and end that overeating. And so in that guide, the freebie, you'll just find a little bit of information, but then I have a whole bunch, I think I've got 5 emails that then you'll get, and it gives you steps to really take. Like I teach about the basics, and in those emails, it gives you the basics. And if you followed those basics, you would lose the weight. But a lot of my women, the basics are great, but then their brain takes over, and then like the emotional eating, their limiting beliefs. And that's where I come into play, is I'm there to point out and to help you see what's going on in your brain. Because when you're stuck in it and have never gone through it, you don't see any other way. You don't even see that thought isn't helping you at all. I mean, like for me, it's like, it's hard, like basic, it's hard. Weight loss is hard. That thought alone will sabotage you every time, because how long are you, like when you think it's hard, what feeling does it create? Well, frustration. I felt defeated even thinking that. And when that feeling is there, my actions of sticking with it don't last very long. So we start working on all those thoughts that aren't serving you and then shifting them. And that's the magic, is getting this brain in the order so that we can do this.
Mhm. It is so, yeah, you're right, Jean. I know. It's so true. And it is in your mind. And this is so inspiring because for so many of us, we think, oh, we've tried something or we want to change, right? And so Ryan says here, change your lens, change your life. Yep. Your reality is as you perceive it to be. So it's true. By altering the perception, we can alter our reality. Yep. William Constantine. So true. Thanks for joining us, Ryan. And I think this, when you say your clients are really women, but this is for everybody, right? This is
Oh,
for
it is.
everybody. When you think about changing your mindset and being able to really, like, if you master this, you
Yeah.
can master anything in your life.
Yeah. Oh, actually, this what I did to lose this 100 pounds is now what I do for my business. Because when I first went from a nurse to this online world, oh my goodness, like it was a lot to learn. And I was getting overwhelmed at times, stressed out. And what I learned from the weight loss side of it, I just used the same tools to do my business, to work on, okay, I'm not, like, how to shift from being overwhelmed, how to shift from being stressed so that I do it and I enjoy it. And that's the thing. That's the biggest part of any journey, weight loss journey, business journey, is we have to enjoy the journey. We can't wish to get there. We have to enjoy each and every day. And that's what I learned. And that's what's got me, it keeps me going every day.
Hmm. Absolutely. And I think you made a great point because sometimes we say, well, we'll be happy when.
Mhm.
Right? We'll be happy when, and we start having this narrative with ourselves of, well, when I lose those 20 pounds, that's when I'm going to feel really good about myself. And that's really not it, right? It's the trigger that you talked about and going back and understanding that behavior. And so you can be happy with yourself today and
Yes.
then just learn how to do the things that you really are going to step into and that are going to make you feel fulfilled in your life.
Yes, because for me, I lost a lot of weight many, many, many times. And I thought I would be happier. Everything would be better when I got to that weight. Nothing changed because I didn't work on what was in my head and in the thoughts and the feelings. So yes, my physical was different, but nothing else shifted. And that's why I ended up gaining the weight back all the time, because I still was so unhappy and things weren't things weren't good. So I'd then wing back again. And that's how I've kept 100 pounds off over, I think now 13 years, was because I did this inner work at the beginning and along the way. So by the time I lost that weight, my whole life shifted.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. Amazing. I put the link. So if you guys are looking for this quick start guide and you want to connect to Karen, you can go to this KarenSchaible.com/freebie. I also put it in the chat. If you're watching live, you can just click on that link and you can get your free guide and download that. Because I think, everybody, either you or someone that this will benefit, because this is really, really important for us to just, even if you think you have the right tactics, download it. It's free, and you can see, are you doing the right things? Are you getting the right energy for that?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. This has been really fun, Karen.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Absolutely. I really appreciate you. And I hope that, throughout the year, you can come back and share more stories with us on success stories. And we would love to follow you and see just, how things are going. If you have some other programs that we can celebrate you on Everyday Leaders, because this is really getting our health and our mind right for 2021. That's going to really help us be successful in everything that we do.
Yeah. Even like doing this, there's so many business people out here watching us right now. And learning this and working on yourself, it only helps your business. For me, with the weight loss, my brain used to be so consumed with food and myself and feeling sorry for myself and that I have so much mental energy now that I can do whatever I want because my brain isn't full of all of that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's just kind of cleaning house, right? We've cleaned our closets. Now it's time to clean our mind.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Karen, you are just a joy. I so appreciate you. And I know it is your 8th anniversary tonight. So you guys download her freebie and then send a little message here in the chat if you're watching or if you're joining on replay. Happy anniversary to Karen and her husband. You're number 8. And we appreciate you for just pouring into us tonight and keeping us healthy and reminding us why it's so important.
It is. You know what? The biggest thing I want to leave everybody is you're worth it no matter what. Like, no matter what you look like, anything, you are worth it. And that's what you have to hold on to.
Mm-hmm. It sure is.
Yeah.
Thank you, my dear. Have a great
You.
Thank you so much for joining. And yes, Joe says happy anniversary.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Have a great night and come back and join us, okay, Karen?
I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.